Hey everyone, welcome back to the King's Speech. This is Ash. Here, back again for another week with my One Piece reaction and review. Hopefully one of these days I'll actually start this review by saying, that I haven't actually been spoiled on something in the chapter. It wasn't like major stuff I got spoiled on this week compared to last time, but still kind of annoying when you just get, see something's minor about the chapter that you know is kind of coming up. But anyways, before I dive right into this, just a couple of quick things I want to get out there. First of all, I just want to say, all my support and love for, all my friends and everyone in Brazil right now. Like, what's going on there is just, it's beyond reprehensible and it's frightening, and I can't even begin to imagine how it must feel, being in that country right now. All I can say, is whatever happens there, you will always have, my support in any manner that's possible. And I really hope we can all get through this without, anything else serious really happening. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I've just been reading the news about it all morning, reading the accounts from everyone there, and my heart's breaking for you. Alright, but sorry to kind of start that off on such a sour note, but really had to get that off my chest, and just in case I sound, a little bit off this morning. Just the news has been getting to me a little bit. Alright, let's get right into it. So we have One Piece Chapter 922, Supreme Commander Kaido of the Animal Kingdom Pirates. And this is the first time in a while we've gotten a cover page that I really, really love. And we have Koala, in a little fighting, like a karate uniform. And this request, Koala teaching Kung Fu Dugongs the ways of Fishman Karate by Meh from Saku. And apparently she's got the little the kanji for Ryugu on her shirt, and all the Kung Fu Dugongs are wearing koala t-shirts. Super adorable. Love it so much. So then go straight into, Luffy and the others just watching what's happening. He's going, so Kaido's a dragon? What is that thing? Is that really? He's like, yes, and Kinemon's like, yes, that creature there is Kaido. Kaido can transform into a dragon. And off into the distance past the gate, you can see the little snake shape, like dragon form of Kaido just like hovering in the sky, just surrounded by clouds. Like everyone just taking time to kind of process this. And then Momonosuke is having a tough time, and then Kinemon's like, Lord Momonosuke. And Shonobu was like, what? Lord Momonosuke? Oh, right, no, because the other Kozuki clan retainers haven't seen him transforming into a dragon. And Shinobu was like, what? Lord Momonosuke? And then Okiku's like, that little dragon? And Kinemon's like, I shall explain it later. But yes, he has fallen into this dreadful state, of all things to take the form of a hateful dragon. And then, they're all just crowding around him as he's like in his dragon form, just freaking out. And Luffy goes, that looks like it's over Okabore town. And Kinemon's like, why would Kaido appear in Kuri without warning? Such a dick. He's like, oh, sorry, Kinemon. As a matter of fact, Straw Hat, Zoro, and I all blew our cover there. And Kinemon's like, you what? Like, what kind of... Oh, fucking Sanji. I'm sorry. I know, he's not saying anything, terrible, but I just can't stand Sanji anymore. He's like, what kind of shoddy operation are you running, Law? If there's anyone who doesn't have the right to criticize... Oh man, Law's throwing some shade. If there's anyone who doesn't have the right to criticize me, it's the Straw Hat Pirates. And there's like, oh, it must be Luffy's fault. It's like, Nami's like, whatever it is, we're sorry. He's like, Laws continues, but that's all that happened. And he goes, let's start at the beginning. Kaido is making weapons in this country, while he does deals with Doflamingo and Caesar for the artificial devil fruits known as Smile. Quick aside here before I get into this, the chapter might answer my questions, but just really quick aside here. I do want to put out a video either later today or sometime this week talking about specifically this, like the weapons in my kind of Wano Reverie theories. So again, yeah, I'll try to get that out later this week because I have some ideas for plot points I want to talk about, and hopefully it'll be a little bit more concise and clear. I know I did one on Wano already earlier, but hopefully this newer one will be a little bit more concise than the other one, which I kind of rambled a bit on. But yeah, just keep going. So he goes, we destroyed the factories that did the heavy lifting on Punk, Hazard, and Dressrosa, and sent his trading partner Doflamingo to prison. In other words, we're the ones who picked a fight with him. And you see just Kaido's like kick-ass dragon face, in the background. And you got Law's just like, all he wants is me and Straw Hat. And then, oh God, Kinemon's like, where are you? Oh no, that's Nami, I think. He's going, where are you going, Luffy? And Kinemon's like, Sir Luffy. And Law's just like, don't chase him, I'll go. If anyone else gets exposed, they'll know that any of the Straw Hat and Heart Pirates are here. It will kick off a massive nationwide manhunt for us. Be rational. We're the only ones who are spotted. Your plan is still safe, understand? And Kinemon's like, then what will you do? Law's like, I wish I could just let him go. Please, yes, just let him go. He's like, but Straw Hat's already gotten involved with the people of this nation. If he starts acting out of emotion, it will affect the plan. There's no point to the alliance if we don't have everyone in the same place when the big battle happens. So I'll figure out a way to handle this. And he's using his room to teleport himself. He goes, just don't show yourselves in public. And Beppo's like, Captain, come back. And apart from mere hours, and what does he do often go? Geez, Luffy. I want to talk about that at the end of this. And then you have Bakura Town, and then you have, just a bunch of people running away, all these samurais. Okay, in the one panel, there's a samurai that looks like Jean Bart. Like he's got the similar kind of like eyebrows, like same hairstyle and design running off in the background, but I don't want to say that's not him. So you have Hawkins still astride his deer, and he goes, he's visiting in person. And then you have Hold'em going, is it me? Has he come to execute me? And his lies like, girl. And then Okobore Town, Kaido's just like slowly filtering down to the ground. They're going, run for your lives, abandon the town. And someone's running past going, Osuru, you should clear out of here. And she's like, I know. Retreat to the forest, Atamayama Thieves Brigade. No reason to mess with him. And then Shutamaru's back on his little bull, and he's just trying to take off again. And then Kaido's just like, I heard that there was a mighty brigand deep in the forests of Kuri. Shutamaru. And then Shutamaru just looks back at him, and he goes, in fact, I remember you. And you see, oh man, this might possibly confirm that Kaido is in fact, not Kaido, Shutamaru is in fact, what's it called? God's sakes, is in fact Shuradoji. But you see, flashback to Dragon Kaido, and you see Shutamaru with his sword out about to take him on, and there's someone else standing next to him also about to fight. Oh God. And Kaido Dragon has the dumbest look on his face. He's like, wee. But the past is the past. If you agree to work for me, it's like, then it's all water under the bridge. Jack's just like, wait, Kaido, are you drunk? He's like, you fool, I'm not drunk. And everyone's like, he's drunk. Like, Master Jack, don't move. We're stopping the bleeding. He's like, I thought it was strange that he suddenly showed up in Kuri. And Shutamaru was like, I can't get away. Shing, should I strike back to create an opening? And he pulled out his sword. And he's like, but the factories run on the labor of the citizens of Okobore. It's one thing to make an example of them, but if he thrashes about in a drunken stupor, he could obliterate all of Kuri. And Luffy's still running. He's like, damn it, it's still so far off. And then Law finally catches up to him and he's like, Straw Hat. And he's like, Traffy, you suppose the Okobore folks are all right? And Law's like, you idiot, this is what comes of doing good things for people. And then Kinemon's also running downhill after them. He's like, why did you not tell me earlier, Kiku? You head back. I will save Suru. And she goes, this one is sorry, Masterkin. How can she not have taken another husband to protect her? It has been 20 years. Oh, God. Hey, I mean, it's a nice sentiment, but there's so much problematic shit in that statement right there. And then you have Hawkins running up. It's like, dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. There's a Commander Kaido. If you are searching for Straw Hat Luffy in Trafalgar Law, and Kaido's eye just twitches down to Hawkins and is like, Shootmore's like, ain't that the headliner? And he goes, they're hiding at the ruins of Oden Castle. And then Jack's like, Hawkins, is this true? Kaido's like, Oden Castle? He's like, no, it's merely a lie to contain his rampage. Oh, God. Hawkins is unknowingly screwing over the Straw Hats. But perhaps because of that particular legend approaching, people have spoken of sightings of eerie light near the peak. This is only bound to inflame Shogun Orochi's fears. So if we have those old castle ruins erased while they're empty, it should kill two birds with one stone. And that's Jack talking. And then Kaido's just like, did you say Oden Castle? Erp. Oh, old memories. And it does make for a good hideout. So that's where they are. The ones who stole my smile fruits. Those hateful little brats. They won't get away from me. Hick. Shootmore's like, whoa. Kaido just flies back past him. And then Shootmore's like, in the ruins of Oden Castle? And then they're just like, huh? All the other Straw Hats and everyone's just like seeing Kaido Dragon just flying towards them. Is it me or is that thing coming closer to us? Beppo was just freaking. I was like, oh, please no. Brooke's like, did he notice us? And Sanji's like, there's no way he could spot us from that distance. But he's coming. We gotta get out of here. And then Luffy and Law see Kaido's just flying past full speed as they go by. Who is that? There's someone below Kaido, like, pulling out his sword. And he's got, like, I don't recognize whoever that is. I'll have to come back to that later for a thing. But then he opens his mouth and he goes, blast breath. And then just exhales. And just completely annihilates Oden Castle. In a huge explosion. Law and Luffy are freaking out, going, Everyone else is just watching, just stunned by what happens. And then Shootmaru's like, he blasted Oden Castle, the bastard. It looks like he's torn apart the graves because you see, a piece of stone or wood flying up with the name Oden on it. It was over in an instant. Not enough time for that to have cleared his mind of the stupor. And then Jack's like, normal rules don't apply to him. Oh, are you kidding me, man? Law's like, Straw Hat? And then you see someone going, gum, elephant gun. And then, man, okay, this gives you a really good sense of, like, the scope of Kaido's size. Because Luffy does a gigantic elephant gun right onto Kaido's face. And he just, like, the entire span of it just hits right above his eyebrows. His Kaido's face just kind of goes like this. And to be continued. Alright. I don't know how I feel about this chapter, if I'm honest. Like, this is something I wanted to talk about later, but I know everyone's kind of peddling this idea that Luffy is going to be the one that wrecks the plan. Like, he's obviously wrecked the plan now. He's gone and confronted Kaido. etc., etc. This entire thing with him blasting the castle is like all kind of BS. But this was something like I've been considering, kind of wanted to talk about a lot. I kind of want to talk about in my other videos recently was what is Luffy's biggest problem always been, and to me it's always been that this chapter is a perfect showcase of it. Luffy's always been like recklessly impulsive, like he'll always rush into battle without thinking things fully through first. And almost like 99% of the sources of conflicts we've had in the series are Luffy rushing in, doing something stupid because he's stubborn, and the rest of the Straw Hats having to kind of deal with the fallout and handle containment for whatever his actions are. And I'm kind of disappointed that, he never really learns from that. Like, this was because I was thinking about this, like, someone told me that something would happen in this chapter that would kind of get me off, like, or not get me off, bad phrasing there, would kind of annoy me this bit. And to me, that's explicit, like, because on Punk Hazard, there was a scene where Zoro tells Luffy, stop taking things so lightly. We're in the new world now, you have to be serious. And Luffy's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I will take things more seriously. And he's never applied that, like, this is like the problem, I think, with how the power scaling has gone up in the series, is the Emperors aren't really presented to be the threat that they think they are. Like, everyone was saying after Whole Cake Island and Big Mom, like, oh, Luffy knows what the price of defeat is. He knows what it feels like to take on an Emperor. He knows what the power level is. And I'm not saying, like, his impulsive actions in this chapter aren't not understandable. Like, I get where he's going from. But the fact that Oda's, trying to get me hyped and excited with, oh no, Luffy's trying to do this, like, it's not particularly interesting to me anymore to see him get into the same messes repeatedly over and over again just by doing stupid shit like this. Like, I don't know. Honestly, very, very mixed feelings on this chapter. And I love Drunk Kaido. On like the one hand, I love Drunk Kaido because it's really amusing. Like, that's like his little quirk that Oda's given him. But I'm hoping this doesn't mean he's an idiot, because that was like one of my biggest fears going into Wano, was that Big Mom was not a very clever villain. Like, she was a physical powerhouse that they kind of need to be like aware of, and like that was her threat. And I was hoping Kaido, I know Kaido is going to be the same, like he's going to be a physical powerhouse just based on all the legends and stuff we have about him, but I was hoping he's not going to be a complete dumbass kind of moron. And the fact that we first introduction to him was kind of like to be like, oh, let's play it up the comedy angle with like him being drunk and like just setting shit on fire randomly, doesn't really help play into the idea that he's not, the thing. But I suppose this kind of feeds into the whole, I guess, supposed contrast, right, again, of how Kaido and Luffy are very similar, at least attitude-wise, with the impulsive nature of it. But now, what I was supremely curious about in this chapter is whoever that person is next to Shutenmaru. Because, like, I know this is, like, crazy out there theory idea. Like, my first instinct when I saw them was, like, holy shit, is that Green Bull? That's the other person. But then I zoomed in on the picture, and it looks like it's the other, either Kawamatsu or Denjiro that we saw earlier. When he was talking about, like, the other Kozuki clan retainers. So I feel like once you zoom in on the picture, I could see like the ponytail, because I thought it was like curvy hair before. This kind of seems to cement the idea that Shutemaru is a Shiradoji. Again, not particularly compelled or by that idea. I'm like, all right, we'll see what happens with it, I guess. But I mean, like, at this point, I'm waiting for more more of like the background of Wano before we kind of get into like the conflict and the fights. And yeah, I don't know. Overall, decent chapter. Set up a conflict. What's going on? Honestly, don't know how Oda's gonna play up this. Luffy having hit Kaido bit. I suppose he could play it off. Like, if Law teleports up there, grabs Luffy, and just hides, they could just brush it off as like an illusion, or they saw something that was a piece of rubble hitting Kaido or something. I suppose that'd be the easiest way to kind of write off this whole encounter. If not, could Law and Luffy get captured this early on? I don't think so. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but yeah, very, very, very meh on this chapter. Not a lot of forward plot progression. A little bit of interesting bits with the Kaido stuff, like Kaido drunk stuff, but honestly, I'm still waiting for Wano to kind of get that kick. Someone like kick Wano in the seat of its pants and kind of get moving. But yeah, about that. So honestly, chapter is like a solid 2.5 out of 5 for me. I know a lot of people are gonna hate me being like, oh, why don't you love like the Luffy fighting Kaido bits? It's just like, I don't love it because I know this is not gonna amount to anything. Like, this is not the start of the fight. This is not even the final fight. And it's just like, alright, he hit a dragon. Whoop-de-doo. I don't know, maybe I'm just being a bunner, but man, I really hope One Piece picks it up soon. Yeah, so cut it off there. Like I said, I'll try to get those other 2 One Piece videos out today. If not, look for it later in this week. One of them I'll be talking about, Wano ideas and theories and things. And I'll try to take that as chapter into account. Because I'm not sure how much it affects some of my other ideas, but some of them will definitely be changed slightly by it, I suppose. But shouldn't hopefully be too bad. And then the other video I want to do, I kind of want to talk about, because I put out a poll recently on Twitter talking about, what, God's sakes, my mind is just going blank on me today. Talking about, what kind of story is the One Piece narrative? Like, is it a narratively driven story or is it a character driven story? And the results were a little bit, weren't surprising, but they were skewed a little more equally than I would have thought, which kind of surprised me. But I kind of want to get into that and really talk about, a lot of my dissatisfaction with post time skip stuff, because I feel like everyone, I've written articles and things about this, but I feel like there's still a lot of confusion about what exactly my I'm trying to think of the word for this. What exactly gets my problems with it are, because everyone's assuming like, oh, it's just like you didn't understand the story, or you didn't, or your criticism is like you're saying you don't like elements of it, and it's not that. It's more to do with Oda's innate understanding of storytelling itself. So I kind of want to get into that in that video, but I might need to do a little bit of research and get some stuff together first before I try to do that, because I don't want to make it like the last videos I did, like on Wano and the other stuff, where I kind of just rambled on tangents for a while. I'm going to make this a little bit more, I want this one to flow a little bit better, so that's why I might need time, but definitely look forward to that. Apart from that, other reviews will be out as regularly scheduled today. I also did catch up on Hunter x Hunter during the weekend, and it was one hell of a ride, and I'll do my absolute best to put out a review for the next chapter today. If not, most definitely starting next week, Hunter x Hunter will be put into the rotation schedule, so I'll look forward to that. And until next time, I will talk to you then.